Hello, everyone. I don't consider myself a YouTuber whatsoever, but I occasionally, and it's been like a really long, like almost a year now, that I've made a video talking about mental health. I'm a huge mental health advocate, and I think your mental health is more important than most things in life. It's really important to take care of yourself, something that I still struggle with every day. And have really struggled with in the past couple of weeks. So just kind of in light of my mental health the past few weeks, I just kind of wanted to make a video and talk about it. Hopefully help some other people that are probably struggling, and I'm always willing to have a conversation about mental health, about your well-being, like ways I cope with my mental health and my panic attacks, depression episodes, all that stuff. So I know in previous videos I've kind of talked about like my diagnoses and stuff, and so a little recap of my mental health for you all. I was diagnosed with general anxiety disorder and clinical depression in 2017, beginning of 2017, end of 2016. In 2018, I was diagnosed with premenstrual dysphoric disorder, PMDD for short. That's a fun one. So it's essentially how my therapist describes it is PMS on steroids. And so just kind of like the general symptoms that women experience when they're on their periods, just a little bit more elevated and worse. And my depression gets a lot worse while I'm on my period. And then May 2018, so about a little over a year ago, I was diagnosed with bipolar 2 disorder. So, got a lot of stuff going on. A lot of chemicals in my brain just aren't quite right, but it's okay. You know, my brain just doesn't function as normally as some people. It sucks, but it is what it is, and I can't change it. And I think I've really started to realize that in the past couple of weeks. In the past couple weeks, it was kind of like I have been seeing my therapist like twice a week now, and I've never had to do that. And in the past few weeks, my mental health, like my depression, has been the worst it's been in 2 years. And so I've been going to therapy more often and like talking to my therapist a lot. And it's crazy how great she is because she'll, it's not always like she just sits there and asks questions, but she like kind of really makes me think about, like, she'll ask me questions, but it's also like having a discussion and a conversation. And so like kind of dug out of me that, and it makes perfect sense that I think I always have been like a mental health advocate. And I don't think I quite understood bipolar disorder. All these feelings and emotions and like pain just kept happening, and I never really understood why. I just kind of went with it and like openly talked about it, and so we kind of discovered that I guess I just kind of thought I would feel better and it would go away, but I came to the realization of this is something I'm going to have to deal with for the rest of my life. And so I've really been, thinking about that a lot in the past few days. It sucks. I really don't want to be medicated and deal with this stuff the rest of my life. And have to really focus on self-care, because that is something I'm really, really bad at, is taking care of myself, because I just want to take care of other people first. And so with bipolar disorder, and really any mental health issue or disorder, self-care is important. Whether you have depression, anxiety, bipolar, any other kind of disorder, self-care is always really important. And so it's even more important if you have, any sort of mental health disorder. And so, to some people it may be easy to get up out of bed and get ready and brush your teeth and take a shower, eat a good breakfast, exercise, get plenty of sleep. All of that stuff is what you should do every day to take care of yourself and to essentially stay sane as a human in this crazy world that we live in. But then with bipolar disorder, my therapist and I talked about it a lot, it's even like 10 times more important. But it's also way, way harder to make myself do things. I'm actually running a marathon in November, and I was training. The first few weeks of training were going really, really well. Past few weeks have been really, really bad, and I haven't ran, and it's almost like this internal battle within myself, because, you know, I tell myself, like, I have to go run, I need to go do it. Not only is it part of the training, but it's going to make you feel a lot better. There's been a lot of studies showing that exercise, running are really good for your mental health, and they just release like kind of happy hormones, endorphins, whatever that stuff is. Don't quite understand it. I probably should a little bit more, but at least I have a bunch of friends that are psych majors, so they can always explain that to me. But it's this internal battle of me being like, I need to go run, but then I can't get out of bed, or I just don't want to, and I'd rather, you know, just lay there and be miserable and sulk in the, oh my god, I like don't want to do this, blah blah blah. And so I think that's been really something that I've struggled with the past few weeks. It's been crazy, but I think something that's really helped me. I feel better than I did like 3 days ago. 3 days ago was really bad. Today I'm doing a lot better. I still having trouble going out and doing things, but I have, thank God for my, it sucks because my best friend in the whole world lives in Chicago, but she answers every single phone call, will always talk me through like my mental breakdowns or like whatever I'm going through. And then my best friend here, he always comes over whenever I need him, and they're just two of the best people I know, and I think they're definitely my biggest supporters through all of this, and my family is absolutely incredible. So I know I've been very blessed with the people I choose to surround myself with, and that's also really, really important when dealing with bipolar disorders. You want to surround yourself with people that will take you in and that will take care of you, and I know they probably don't understand what I'm going through, and it sucks too, because I feel like a nuisance, and I just feel like I bother them all the time, but I mean, I hope they don't think that way. I don't think they do, or else they wouldn't answer my phone calls or come over when I need them. But I really do think surrounding yourself with positive people is obviously very good for your mental health. So I do have that going for me. I do have really great people in my life that I'm incredibly thankful for. I have had the tendency in the past to, and still do, to cure my unhappiness with traveling. So behind me here, we have my little travel wall of all the places I've been, and I've been a lot of places this year. Just in this year, I've been to, since January, I've been to Seattle, Portland, Chicago, Montana, Denver, Austin, San Diego, Florida. I think that's it. So I spend a lot of money, another part of the manic part of bipolar disorder, but I am really good at running away from my problems and not wanting to deal with them directly. So I travel, and Kansas City. Yeah, so that's kind of a lot of what happened this past week. So I live in Oklahoma City, and a lot of the past issues that I've had, I just have a lot of memories. This is my home, and I love Oklahoma City. It's a great city. If you haven't been, come check it out. I promise we're not just some like dumpy little nothing here town. Like, we are civilized people, I promise. Anyways, I just have a lot of bad memories that have happened here, and just I'm in graduate school here, and that's been really, really stressful. I've taken summer classes, and just a lot of my past like relationship stuff, and like just high school in general was kind of tough for me. The sport I did was really tough for me, and so I feel like I just have a lot of not so great memories here, which sucks because it is my home and my family lives here. And so that's why I travel, and I feel like I run off to Chicago to see my best friend, or I run off to Seattle, one of my favorite places to go visit. And then I used to go to school in Boston, and I left there, God, like 3 years ago almost was the last time I went to school there, in undergrad. And so I feel like I've really been missing Boston a lot lately. It was a wonderful place. I loved living there, but I also had a lot of mental health stuff going on there. And so I feel like I run off to these new cities in hopes of, like, oh, maybe like my bipolar disorder will be cured. Like, no, that's not how it works. So that's something else I've struggled with. And so, like, a couple weeks ago, I went to Kansas City, and that was the first time that I traveled to a new city and, like, did not feel better. And so that kind of hit me really, really hard and kind of set up how the rest of this week went, and like last week before I went to Kansas City. And so that was just kind of really tough, I guess, because over the past 2.5 years that I've been traveling, that was the first time I was like, wow, I don't feel any better. And so it was really eye-opening, and I was like, I've got to take care of myself. I've got to start running again. I've got to get like my eating like schedule and sleep schedule on track. Nutrition's really important. I'm a nutrition major, of all people. I should know that. And I feel like I'm just not doing the things I need to be doing to properly take care of myself. But it's also an internal battle and like just elevated emotions and like kind of just this. I don't know, it's weird. I can't explain how I feel because it's just like this internal battle of like I need to do these things, but I don't want to make the effort to do them because I'm just exhausted all the time and I just never feel like doing anything. But so the past couple days I've really tried to like go, like make myself go places and do things, whether it was like going somewhere with friends. Like today I like ran some errands and it's like it's okay. I've got my dog, and he hangs out with me all the time. He's a really great listener. And so that's another thing that I think really helps me is my dog. They are literally the best creatures in the world. I don't know where I would be without my dog, which I know that's not an option for everybody. But I just think, shoot, go to a dog park. I don't know. Go find yourself a dog because he makes me feel a lot better, and like I said, my friends and my family make me feel a lot better. But yeah, overall I guess in this video I just kind of wanted to give a little update and like kind of tell people what bipolar disorder is like. I don't even know if I really did that. Essentially you have depressive episodes and manic episodes, and so with bipolar 2 it's like more depressive episodes than manic episodes. So like in the depression it's essentially just really exhausting and you just feel like the weight of the world coming down on you and you can't really do anything about it. And then in the manic episodes you're very hyper, blow through all your money and do a lot of that stuff, and it sucks because a lot of my friends, and either when I'm in a really depressive episode they're like, what can I do to help? And I'm like, sit here, hold my hand, I don't know, just like be here. Just your presence like helps, but there's not anything you can do or say that can like click in my brain and be like, oh yeah, okay, that's right. Like I really just can't help it, and that's what sucks. Like I don't want this to happen. I don't want this disorder. Like I don't want to feel miserable all the time, but I do. And obviously I have like good days and bad days. Just in the past month it's been a lot more bad than good. But I know like eventually everything will be okay. And I posted on Instagram yesterday just like about kind of what I've been going through, and I think the main point I was trying to make was like it's really okay not to be okay. And I'm not okay right now, and that's fine to say. I wish I was, but I'm not. And so like for everyone out there that's going through any sort of mental disorder or is even just kind of having a tough time, like it's really okay to cry and it's really okay not to be okay. Like I promise no one is gonna think of you any less. I will not think any less of you, even if I don't know you. Like, mental health is just so important to me, and I just want to make it, like, you, like, just know, like, I'm also going through stuff, and, like, I don't care who you are or where you live. Like, if you reach out to me, like, I'm more than happy to talk to you about what you're going through or what I'm going through, or I am a really good listener. Like, I will just sit and listen. I can't promise I probably can't help, because I know what it's like, and it's really hard for people to help me and pull me out of those depressive episodes, but, like, I will listen to anybody, and I will talk to anybody about mental health. And I just think it's so important, you know. I encourage you, if you are going through something and you do see this video, please reach out to someone. Find someone who's really good at listening and someone who cares. There are good people in this world, I promise, and you just have to find the right ones, and I definitely have with my big support group with my family and my friends. And I know therapy is not the cheapest, but if you are in college or go to the university, most universities and colleges have therapists available, and I highly, highly encourage you to go. Therapy has been the best decision I have ever made in my life. I started about three and a half years ago now, and it was the best decision I ever made. It's just so nice to, like, go and talk to someone who's unbiased and will just listen to you, you know, talk about whatever's going through your mind, whatever you feel, whatever you're going through. And so I really encourage you to seek help and see somebody. And like I said, I'm more than happy to talk to anybody about anything. There's always the suicide hotline, and I will post that below. And yeah, like, please, you're never alone. I promise. There's always other people going through stuff. I'm one of them. So yeah, thank you for listening to me babble on about God knows what about bipolar disorder. Just kind of wanted to shed some light on that. Kind of talk about my mental health in hopes that other people can also talk about their mental health, because it is really important. It is important. People care about you. I care about you. And it's important to talk about how you feel, because it's already really exhausting having bipolar disorder or depression, but it's even more exhausting if you keep it bottled up inside. You really got to talk about it, and you really got to get it out. So please never hesitate to reach out to me, to reach out to friends. Love yourselves, and that's all I got.